Welcome to our Vault Shorts. These are shorter episodes highlighting programs and resources here in our Billings community, and today we are tackling the topic of naming your business.
The following is a Big Sky Economic Development production.
It's Mars B.
And Kavo.
And this is The Vault at 201 North Broadway.
A business podcast
where we bring you entrepreneurs, small business owners, and community leaders of Montana.
You don't want to miss this.
Learn how to better start, manage, and grow your business.
And your leadership style.
Tangible takeaways to save you time and improve whatever it is that you're working on.
You're listening to The Vault.
Big thanks to the Small Business Development Center for sponsoring The Vault at 201 North Broadway. The SBDC is an incredible resource for small business owners, offering free one-on-one counseling, business plan support, market research, financial projections, and much more. Whether you're just starting out or looking to grow, they're here to help your business succeed. Reach out to us at bigsky.economicdevelopment.org.
Kayla does a lot of this with clients that in her work through the Small Business Development Center or SBDC, as you guys know. So it seems like a hard thing, Kayla. So tell us more.
Yeah, so this can be one of the hardest things in the startup stage of your business because you want to make sure that you're making it easy to remember and recognizable, that it's reflecting your mission. So when you're thinking of your business name, you should be thinking about how it relates to what your business stands for and giving a feeling of your business's brand, making sure that it's simple and easy to remember and recognize. Sometimes what we see is people do weird spellings, and that's hard to search for. I mean,
it might seem cute, but it's like, what can people, like, how are they going to spell it? And think of, like, if someone's looking for you in Google or Instagram's a really high use search engine for businesses, but, like, when someone else is doing it.
Absolutely, yeah. So just making sure that you're taking away the barriers for people to find you is one of the most important pieces of that. So if they're going to Google you, are you going to show up even if you have a weird spelling? Or if they saw you but can't remember your name but remember what your business is about, if they Google something like local Billings shoe store that has Birkenstocks, are you going to pop up? Mm-hmm. So that's some of the big things that I always tell people to remember.
What else? So thinking of so those are the things that we think about when we're just starting to think of that name, right? What are some other things that you guys recommend?
Yeah, make your name unique so it stands out, but that it isn't confused with other brands is important. So you don't want to come out and be Kleenex, but maybe it's Kleanex, and you're doing the same thing because people are just going to go to Kleenex, right? So you want to make sure that you're making it unique and that it stands out. Along with this, you want to make sure you're not taking another business's name. So we always say, Google your business name before you register it anywhere. Mm-hmm. One, the big important piece with that is to make sure that nobody else has that name. Two, to make sure that name is not associated with anything bad. Bad news is always going to pop to the top. Mm-hmm. And so if you're picking a business name of a gentleman, or you're picking a business name and you Google it and it turns out there's a gentleman in Florida that did something terrible, maybe stole school bus, that's going to be associated with your business name because that's what's going to pop up.
And it seems like Googling it would be another good thing. Hypothetically, the name might be available in Montana. No other business in Montana is named that. However, if you ever want to expand and or have a strong online presence, you don't want it to be something like that's also found nationally and really prominently in other states.
That's such a good point to make. Yes, if you're going to be a mom and pop restaurant and your goal is just to be here in Montana, you want to make sure that, that name is good in Montana. But if you potentially want to be a manufacturer of goods down the line or have a service that could cross state lines, you want to make sure that name isn't taken nationally and that you go ahead and do the right things to trademark and copyright the different aspects, the intellectual property of your business to make sure that name's available as you expand.
Because you have to think about website, social media handles, like all of those things that's great here, but then once you expand out bigger, or even if those names are available, right?
Exactly. So, maybe there's a favorite finds here in Billings, but there's also a favorite finds in Fresno, You know, you don't want to have to type out like favorite finds billings. You know, in some cases you can, but you want to make it as easy as possible so they're not going to look for you and they click and follow the wrong one, right?
So it seems like in a lot of this, it's really keeping top of mind. You know, you want it to reflect your company and what you stand for, but also thinking of your target audience.
Exactly. You want to make sure that the name that you're choosing, and this goes back to, does it make sense for your brand? Does it resonate with who you're trying to market to?
And your tone, does it accurately like reflect the tone and style of your brand and the business, right?
Exactly. You know, so when I think of Black Dog Coffee, they do a really great job because they've got a black dog on all their marketing. They have very sleek look. It's it's very replicable across the board.
Community, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was named, so I love their brand because it was also named after their family dog.
Exactly.
And so it has meaning, but it's really like they've done an amazing job duplicating it across the community as they build and grow their presence.
Yes. And, you know, that they're super dog-friendly coffee shop. They're super local. They do lots of things for the community. So that really resonates with their target market. Mm-hmm. And so doing stuff like that is really important. And thinking of a name that's going to reflect your mission is important.
And how it looks. So thinking as we think about marketing, you know, like how's this brand going to look on the materials that you do? So as a Facebook cover page, throughout a website, on collateral materials, like maybe you do a one sheet or business cards, things like that. How does it look and carry throughout everything that you do?
Exactly. Are you picking a name that is way too long and that it's going to look really clunky on marketing material? You know, thinking of those things as you're choosing a name is important. One thing I will say is if you're unsure of how your target market may react to your business name, why don't you just reach out to friends and family and ask, hey, what does this name mean to you? And get the feedback from your customers and friends to see what they've said. Testing the name can provide those insights that you might not be thinking of because you're too close to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then I think another good thing, we touched on it a little bit, but just checking if the domain's available or something like that. Sometimes things are taken and you can purchase the domain from others, but sometimes that's cheap if the domain's purchased already, or it can be very costly. So just thinking of those things as you're thinking of the name.
Absolutely. One tip I always tell people is if you've picked out your name, you've done all your checks, you've Googled it, you've made sure it's available through the Secretary of State, before you go ahead and purchase that or go ahead and register with the Secretary of State, go purchase your domain, because there are people out there that wait to see what businesses are registered, and then they go and buy the domain and then try to charge you a lot of money. So that's when you start seeing, like, I'm going to say it again, favorite finds 406. That's not actually theirs, but that would be something like favorite finds 406. In our case, Cavo_406 is my Instagram handle because it was already taken. If this was a domain and somebody went, they would have purchased that, and they could turn around and try to charge me $300 for something that cost me $13 a year, right? So that's just kind of my insider's tip.
Yeah, I think this has been a great sharing of things just great tips as you're thinking about naming your company. So you're like, I want to start a company, I'm going to do it. But as you're thinking about, what am I going to call it? If there's something that's not like standing out to you and you're like, that's it, just some really good tips that Kayla shared on things to think about when you're going to name your business.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thanks. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Make sure you are subscribed to The Vault at 201 North Broadway, wherever you podcast, including YouTube.
Connect with us on Facebook at The Vault at 201 North Broadway and Instagram at The Vault_201.
Don't forget to visit us at thevault@201.com and subscribe to our newsletter.
We will see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you to Big Sky Economic Development for supporting The Vault at 201 North Broadway. Big Sky Economic Development is the community's economic development organization. BSED's mission is to sustain and grow our region's vibrant economy and outstanding quality of life by providing leadership and resources for business creation, expansion, retention, new business recruitment, workforce development, and community development. Learn more and connect with BSED at bigsky economicdevelopment.org.